G'day, it's Shane here again from Grape TV, and thank you for joining me at my home bar. But more importantly, thank you for helping me bring McLaren Vale wine to the world. Today, a real little beauty. Gilligan Wines. Now, Gilligan Wines, very, very small production, two small vineyards, one with Shiraz on the flat between McLaren Vale and Wollonga. It's actually next to Noons. Noons is one of my all-time favourites. The wine from there is spectacular. So the Shiraz, their vineyard is right next door to Noons. They also have a small vineyard with some Grenache Mourvedre and some Roussanne Marsanne in small quantities, leading up into one of the little wineries there. I've tried their wines over a couple of vintages, and they make two wines on the whole, and just absolutely enjoy both of them. Grenache Shiraz Mourvedre. I think that's the... No, this one's a Shiraz Grenache Mourvedre. Let's get it right. And also a Roussanne Marsanne blend, which again, marvellous, marvellous wines. So this one is the 2010 Shiraz Grenache Mourvedre. We've got to get it right. The SGM instead of the GSM. Okay, with the big G on the label for Gilligan. Now, I opened this wine last night to give it a try and to make sure it had a breathe. It was on vacuum overnight, and hopefully it's in perfect condition, ready for showing you today. Very interesting. When I opened this wine last night, gave it a little bit of a breathe to start with. The red fruits really came through, and it was mainly just the red fruits of the Grenache. And if you think here, Grenache is only the second largest grape variety in this wine in terms of proportion. So it's named Shiraz Grenache Mourvedre, and that's the order of the proportion of the wines. Off my top of my head, I can't remember which proportions are, but it's in that order. But I certainly got lots of red fruits coming through, not that much else, a little bit here and there, but it was mainly the red fruits. Now today, the red fruits are there, but I'm getting some of those black fruits. Shiraz obviously gives you plum and those sort of dark characters coming through, but what I'm really finding interesting with this wine today is the Mourvedre is starting to hit. And the Mourvedre is giving you almost it's almost a meaty character. Now that might be off-putting, but when you put it all together, it's not off-putting at all. It gives a lot of character to the aromas. So it's not just red fruits, it's not just the plum of Shiraz, and it's not just that sort of meatiness, that depth. Sometimes a bit of perfume coming through from Mourvedre as well. But what's happening now with this wine is it's all come together, and it adds complexity to the wine, to the aromas, and to me it adds that enjoyment, makes you think about what's there instead of just something overtly in your face. Getting a touch of dustiness as well, so I'm expecting that coming from the oak. Let's continue with the wanky thing. Now, when I talk about complexity on the palate, on the nose, there is heaps of complexity on the palate for me. Right up front, that red fruit. Not a huge amount, but it's there. The red fruit comes through. Then the darkness seems to come through, and it's like a wave through the palate, this darkness. But darkness is not bad, darkness is good. So I'm getting those dark fruits, the dark plums, dark cherries coming through, and that little meatiness that I was talking about before, right on the back of the palate. that actually gets mixed in well with the wood that's there, the oak that's there. Now the interesting one for me is I smelled a bit of dustiness on the palate, and I was expecting maybe a fair amount of wood coming through. There's not. Okay, there's wood there, and I'd suggest there's good quality wood, but it's not overt. It mixes in nicely, and I think the Mourvedre, right on the back of the palate, with the tannins from the oak, just caps it off nicely. Look, yes, I know, Grenache, Shiraz, Mourvedre are my three favourite grape varieties. Not always when they're mixed together, but this one is an absolute beaut. Now last night, I'll share with you that I had a lump of beef, thin beef, with pepper and some chilli marinated in, and just baked in the oven. And I had it with this, and it was marvellous, absolutely marvellous. The complexities brought on by a little bit of chilli and pepper mixed in well with the complexities of this wine. Highly enjoyable. Highly enjoyable. The other thing for me, as I'm standing here talking to you, I'm getting a sense of right on the back of the palate, a little bit of maybe a little bit of pepper, which is potentially why it went so well with that steak or that beef last night. But I'm getting some other things coming through, some other herbs, and it's a real mixture. There's almost some sage, some plain sage, maybe even a bit of rosemary, just right on the back of the palate. Yeah, complexity. And for me, the interesting thing is how much it changed from last night to today. So that also says to me that this wine should be put away for a little bit. You can drink it now by all means. Lovely wine. Make sure you give it a nice bit of breath before doing so. But this wine could be around for 3 to 5 years, not a problem. Love that wine. Look, that's all we have time for Learning Grape TV today. I really enjoyed this wine to share it with you. And remember that this is part of a pack from Taste McLaren Vale. And if you want to check that wine pack out, go to the Taste McLaren Vale website, and you know, there's a chance to purchase if that's what you want to do. But if not, Gilligan, well worth checking out. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.